I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Lolita so she can do roll call
Recording
and
in
start her
progress.
recording. Um,
All right, good evening. Uh, Amanda Nelson, Damian Cole,
Here.
David Jacoman, Earl Brennelson, Juan Martinez,
I'm here.
Kathy Stanfield,
Here.
Kelly Orr, Michael Gothard Hutchins,
Here.
Michael Lansborough, Panas Stouffer,
Here.
Paul Hewen, Richard Landon, Ryan Bernadette,
Here.
Suteen Chin.
Here.
And from the staff, we have Sai-san, Graham Dollarhide, Sunamoto, I'm sorry, Thomas, Vanessa Lacer, and Jim Gee. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Lolita. So I will go ahead and read the verbal instructions required by Assembly Bill 219 before we move on. If you are participating via Zoom, to provide public comment during the meeting, please make sure your computer or device has a working microphone. Use the chat feature to submit a request to make a comment. When the time comes to make public comments, you will be invited to speak. If you are participating by telephone, to provide public comment, you should have contacted RTC agency services prior to 4 p.m. yesterday and provided the telephone number you would be calling from as well as the items you wanted to comment on. When the time comes to make public comments, you will be invited to speak. So with that, I'll kick it to Suting. Thank you.
Is there anybody here ready or prepared or wanting to make public comment? Checking the chat. I don't see anything in the chat. Anybody else? Okay, there are no public comments at this time. Agenda number 4 is to approve the September 4th committee meeting minutes. These were, I'm trying to see, were these emailed or are they on the website?
Both. They were emailed and they're on the website.
That's what I thought. I'll open it again. I don't see it in my agenda. Hang on.
Oh. I can
That's
send
okay.
them to you again.
Oh, that's okay. If they're on the website, I'll find it. While I look for those, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes from September? Is it from September or October? Should be October.
October.
Thank you. Sorry, October.
This is Ryan Bernadette. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October.
Second.
I'll second.
For the record, could you state your name?
Kathy
So
Stanfield.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments about the agenda or the minutes? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from October, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Excellent. Good job, everybody. The minutes are approved. And then I have to figure out how to get back to my agenda. Okay. Number 5 for discussion and information discussion items. This one here is to provide information and advice regarding the construction, installation, and maintenance of benches, shelters, and transit stops for RTC passengers. And there was an emailed presentation and a quarterly report that we could view as well. Thank you for sending those ahead of time. Who will be providing this report?
It's me. This is Sai-san.
Cool. Thank you. It's all yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Sai-san. transit planner with RTC. I'm presenting bus stop amenities quarterly report, which covers August to October 2024. Okay. And first, we installed trash cans at 3 locations, which are Sun Valley after West Gap Ford on Route 5, North Virginia before 15th on Route 7, and North Virginia before Liberty on Route 1. The shelter installation continued, and we installed 2 shelters on Route 5 this time. One is at Red Can across Community Garden Apartments, and the other one is Sun Valley at Gap Ford. Additionally, we fixed and reused 3 old shelters and get them installed at Washoe County Our Place campus. It's inside Our Place campus, so it's not for the public. And the 3 shelters are used as school bus stop and pickup and drop off locations for other types of services, Our Place campus. And we had 1 bus stop relocation, which is Quinsley and Kerman on Route 12 and 18. The issue was brought by Hewlett's. The bus stop was very close to a right turn only lane. So when the traffic is busy, the buses have trouble moving to the left and to go straight on Quinsley. And now we move it away from the intersection. And meanwhile, we removed several inactive shelters throughout the region. These shelters are no longer in use due to our service change. And these shelters have been occupied by, some of them are occupied by homeless and full of trash, furniture such as mattress, and our staff cleaned the area after removing the shelters. And we also installed solar lights at the stop Glendale and Rock on Route 18. As for future improvements, the new BRT sign installation still continued. And the second, we will continue working on NDOT permit for the installation of bench at McCarran and Mayan. And we just completed the first round revision of our application and have resubmit the application to NDOT this morning for their second time review. And also, I would like to explain why the process takes such a long time. And the first reason is that many forms and plans are required for the application. Because the McCarran area is complicated, many important utility is just underground and next to the sidewalk. So it's very complex. And also, many of you may notice the Truckee Meadow Water Authority's generator is also there. So we need to prepare different types of forms and plans, such as drainage and traffic control, to demonstrate our installation of bench would not make negative impact to the area. And also, in addition to the plans, some other documents are required, which we need to obtain from different departments within NDOT. So it takes time to gather all the required documents. For example, we need to email the underlying fee at NDOT to get the underlying fee documentation. And also, we need to email the public records request at NDOT to obtain the milepost index for the proposed work location. So after gathering all the required forms and documentations, we need to submit the application package to their permit department. So this is what the process looks like. And also, Dora reported that this bus stop pole was moved further on McCarran, which is very dangerous. And the investigation, we found that RTC and QLEs didn't move that bus stop pole. So we are also surprised about this moving. But at the same time, we feel so sorry about the inconvenience it caused. And they mentioned a city red curbing request in winter. So we will submit this request in spring. And as for bus schedules recommendations, And also 30 is what I got for today's rate. This is what I got for today's rate to provide any comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions or comments? I'm looking for hands raised in the chat list, or I guess maybe actual hands raised. Damien, go ahead.
Yeah, just had a quick question. So is there a map that shows the 5% of the bus stops that are not ADA compliant and where they're located currently?
Yeah, we have a list and we are working on the data visualization. So I think, yeah, we can.
All right.
Hi, my name is Juan Martinez. I would like documents on that as well in an accessible format for me, please.
Okay, you mean the bus stop map?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know why I run the meeting from my phone. It is arguably not the best way to do this, but here we go. Moving on to number 6, RTC staff announcements.
Hi, yeah, this is Graham Dollarhide, planning manager with RTC. I just want to mention that following up on some prior discussion and comments received, we just want to note that any future suggestions for agenda items for CMAC, because this is a body of the RTC and meant to aid, provide advice and recommendations to the RTC board and to staff. Recommendations for future agenda items should also be directly related to items that will be also later heard by the RTC board. So we would still welcome suggestions in the future. We would also ask that those be submitted 2 weeks prior to the scheduled CMAC meeting date for that month, and submitted directly to Marquise, who will look at the requests and determine where best they might be suited for future meetings. For example, we had 2 requests this month. One of them was just sort of discussed and addressed through the presentation that you all just heard, and another related to funding will be provided during our scheduled update on the RTP, the Regional Transportation Plan, in January. So that's just a quick update on that for discussions or requests for future agenda items. And I'll pass it off to any other RTC staff that may have updates.
Sorry, this is Sue. Since that funding update is already scheduled for January, is there any way to list these on the agenda so that we remember that it is forthcoming and that it's already been scheduled and planned? I just don't want us to have a lot of back and forth about requesting the same things if the decision's already been made and it's been scheduled.
Sure. Yeah, we've kind of had some preliminary discussions internally about having a kind of a schedule of items to come, or items throughout the year that may be forthcoming. So we'll find the way that to best present that information to you all in as much advance notice as possible.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other RTC staff announcements at this time? Okay. Number 7. This is our second public comment opportunity. Public comment may pertain to matters both on and off the agenda. Comments are to be made to the committee as a whole and not to individual committee members or staff. Committee members may provide public comment, and public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Is there anybody hoping to make public comment tonight?
I can't figure out how to raise my hand in the new Zoom.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
You are fine. This will suffice. You have the floor. You have 3 minutes. Thank you for speaking.
Thanks, Tuting. This is Panas Stoffer, and thanks, Graham. Yeah, I was the one who mentioned the RTP funding topic, and I remember now that, or I remembered after Marquise responded to me that it was already, or the RTP was already scheduled for January. I know that there's a ton of work that goes into the RTP and that the board review period also begins in January, just looking back at the schedule that Shuen provided us with several months ago. So I had shared that for me, it would be beneficial if there's, if the December agenda is a light one, like this month's meeting, to perhaps cover some of the background or types of sources of funding that are available for the RTP and how how applications for projects happen, like how does NDOT apply, how do people outside of NDOT apply, and just some of the background. And then if it takes more time to cover things like how much money goes towards transit in the current RTP versus other multimodal projects versus highway expansion. If that data collection and presentation takes more time, of course, whatever needs to be done is works, and January is when it's scheduled, but it's a lot of information. It can be hard to digest it all, and we might be better prepared to have an educated discussion that could inform the board's decisions starting in January if we can start in December. So I'm just putting that out there and also just sharing with everyone else the types of things that I was interested in case you wanted to refine or build on that in any way. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'll go ahead. Real quick one.
Sorry, perfect. Go ahead. I'll mute myself after I say those things out loud.
Oh, okay. Ready? Okay. Yeah. I just want to reiterate the importance for putting bike paths onto the sidewalk rather than in guttered curbs, because just today, on a single round trip going from my home to the grocery store and back on 5th Street, I encountered 2 vehicles, both parked in the protected bikeway. And of course, when I called Reno PD so that way they could dispatch the parking enforcement, the first thing that the dispatcher asked me is, why are you calling this in? And the second thing that she asked me is, well, can you just go safely around the car? So from the perspective of someone who's on the phone, who doesn't understand these things, if a car eventually parks into the curb protected bike lane, we're going to encounter issues like that, where the bike is essentially going to be trapped unless we get off the bike, get over the curb, get into traffic in the middle of the street, and then keep going. So I just want to reiterate how important it is to spend the extra dollars, which I don't even know how much the extra dollars are, but spend the money or budget it, keep it into the minds of the engineers who are putting this together and the planners to please put the bike paths next to the off of the side, on the sidewalk, off of the curb, out of the way of the cars, and you'll have a much more efficient and pleasant experience. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Trying to check all the places. I checked the chat. I checked the raised hands, and I'm checking your lovely faces. And I don't see any. See, I didn't even need to tell anybody I needed to leave early tonight. Look at that. If there are no more public comments, the 8th step is adjournment, which does not require a vote. We just adjourn, I think.
I'll vote for that.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for your time. Glad
Thank
we
you,
got
everyone.
quorum, I think. I don't know. Good job, everybody. See you next month.
Wow, 20 minutes.
Thank you.
That's a record.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.